Week 0 is upon us. We are finally at the point in the calendar that we've all been waiting for as college football fans. But are there any actual meaningful games this week, or is it just an uneventful test run for next week's enormous slate? Either way, let's preview this year's unofficial college football kickoff.
Wake the fuck up, samurai.
We got college football to watch.
What's up, fellas? I know it's been a while since you heard from me, or if you're new, welcome. But I've been meaning to make this video for a couple weeks now. I've gotten a little bit sidetracked. Whether it was the release of EA College Football 26 or other things, I'm not gonna lie. The Raiders preseason has royally pissed me off. Pete, I'll never question you. I just can't understand what we're doing right now. And before someone says it, I get this is preseason. It's just the same issues that we've had over the last, 10 years seems to be the same things that's wrong with this team currently. A weak DB room, a shaky offensive line. It just feels like we haven't addressed anything. At this point, I have to come to terms with the fact that this is how the Raiders operate. It always has and always will. Fixable issues that just won't be fixed. The only thing they did get ahead of this offseason was that Christian Wilkins situation. That shit was weird. He's definitely a freak.
Hey, you want to see if I'm really handsome? If I get her number on camera, that means that I'm the most handsome in the world, huh? Okay, go for it. Alright, I'm like, tell her come in. Tell her come in. Her.
But hey, I'm done venting about that. Let's talk about what this video's actually about. Week 0, baby. Yeah, boy, we made it. After months of suffering, being forced to watch the slop that is the NBA playoffs, or being in the dog days of the MLB currently, it has felt like a long offseason away from football. And sure, we've had the occasional dopamine hit by way of the UFL or CFL, but nothing hits quite like the brick to the face that is college football. So, before I waste any more of your time, let's look at 5 games that I'll be watching closely this weekend. I'll try to break them down into 3 categories. The categories being quarterback, who has the better quarterback out of the 2 schools, roster makeup, who I feel has a better supporting cast. This is probably the most subjective though. Like, I might pick roster retention or who I felt did really good in the portal out of the 2. I don't know. This is really just guessing. We don't know how they'll actually perform. Last would probably be coaching. This is self-explanatory. Who has the better coach? Who do I think has the better coach, I should say. I'll probably abandon this midway through, but at least it's a basis for my reasoning when I pick the teams. Alright, let's begin with the only ranked versus ranked matchup live from Dublin at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. K-State versus Iowa State. This is a battle of Big 12 dark horse championship contenders, with similarities across the board. Like, for reals, I can argue that this is the same team, just one's in purple and one's in red. Or gray, or black? I don't know. Iowa State changes their primaries almost every year at this point. These teams are mirror images of each other though. Both solid, both expecting to be in the conference title hunt and possibly backdoor their way into a playoff berth. This parity leads all the way into the quarterback situations for both teams. Essentially, they have the same exact player behind center. For example, this next sentence will describe both of these players, maybe not perfectly, but enough. Solid quarterback that I don't necessarily think you can depend on to carry a team to a championship level. Has a good, not great arm, and is athletic enough for college football nowadays. Okay, maybe I'm simplifying it a little too much, but if you really want to nitpick, you can say Avery Johnson does move better than Rocco Beck, and you can also say that Beck probably throws better than Avery. My point is neither is more spectacular than the other. This isn't Burrow versus Lamar, it's closer to like Aiden O'Connell versus Tyler Huntley. There will be no slander to either of those players I just mentioned, especially not my Pookie. He might have to find a job soon, but that's besides the point. This tier quarterback can win a lot of games at the college level, so I view it as a tie. But if I have to pick one, I would probably lean Avery Johnson. Really, it just comes down to I wish I had his hairline. Your boy might be going to Turkey real soon. Moving on to roster construction, I think I'm going with Iowa State here. The Cyclones are only second behind Arizona State in the Big 12, with 14 starters back, 9 on offense, including most of the offensive line, which is always a big plus, especially at the beginning of seasons, as it'll allow you to run most of what you want on offense without having to worry about communication breakdowns or protection slides. Defense is more of a question, but in this transfer portal era, you never know. For the Wildcats, I'm sure it's fine. I'm just going off of more recency bias than anything. Iowa State did have a better year last year, with more returning starters coming back than K-State, so Iowa State gets the nod here. Let's move on to coaching. Matt Campbell versus Chris Kleinman. Campbell's built a recognizable brand at Iowa State, but he struggles to get over the hump. And by hump, I mean the Big 12 championship games. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I respect the guy. He's carved out a pretty great career. Hell, at one time he was even considered to be a leading candidate for my USC Trojans. I never felt like that, but that's what the streets were saying at the time. Klein, meanwhile, has trophies at the FCS level with North Dakota State, plus actually winning the Big 12 in 2022. So I would lean Kansas State, but they're not that far off of each other. I think this pretty much sums it up. I would probably pick K-State to win this. Maybe not cover the 3-point spread, but maybe a last-second field goal to go up by 2 or something like that. I don't know, but shout out to them, though. Going back to the topic of collegiate football in the state of Kansas, we got Fresno State going to the middle of the country to take on the Kansas Jayhawks for the 3 p.m. game. I don't know where this game is actually going to take place, whether it's an MLS stadium that they used for a couple games last year, Arrowhead, or even back in Lawrence. This should be a fun one though. Out west, Fresno State fans in my comment section of other videos has said that I am sleeping on them. That Fresno State will not only surprise me, but everyone else in the Mountain West. And they can do this by dominating the Jayhawks. If you want me to believe their self-produced hype, they better win by 4 touchdowns. In all seriousness, I will say that this game is closer than even I realized at the beginning of this offseason. They've built some really good momentum out there in Fresno with the hiring of Matt Entz, but there's still some deficiencies in this team, like at quarterback. Looking at these two, Jalen Daniels and EJ Warner, I think this is an easy one for me. Nothing against Fresno and EJ Warner. He's a solid G5 guy, especially during his time at Rice. He'll be the stability they need going forward. But for me, 100 out of 100 times, I will go with the guy that may be Jekyll and Hyde when it comes to performances, but I know has taken meaningful college snaps, and that's exactly what you get out of Jalen Daniels. He's a seasoned vet at this point. Let's not forget, at one time, he was a dark horse for the Heisman. Now, that was some years back, and he probably will never reach that potential. It should still be worrying to the Bulldogs defense. The guy has talent. I will say if he has a bad first quarter, he tends to spiral. So he has to look out for that. But just pure talent out of these two, I'm picking Kansas. When it comes to roster, Kansas has portal talent. They really did well in that department this year. They also lost a lot of dudes to the NFL. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Fresno State should go player for player with them, but I don't think it's that far off. It might be the Bulldog propaganda that I've been force-fed lately, or the fact that I feel like I have to defend them as long as we're in the same conference together, but they were super selective in the portal. And I like how the pieces they got fits Matt Entz's style and system of football. I'm gonna go with Fresno here. Coaching is closer in my eyes, but I mean, Lance Leopold is a proven guy at the FBS level. Entz is a championship coach too. Just, it's close, but you got to give it to Kansas. Everything's telling me Kansas should win this game. Vegas is saying Kansas should win by 2 touchdowns. But I'm going to roll with the Bulldogs to pull the upset. Without that absolutely terrifying rushing attack Kansas had in the middle of the season last year with Devin Neal, I think Entz could probably scheme up a defense to make Jalen Daniels struggle early. I just beg you, please don't make me look stupid. Shout out to the no. I'll be as fast as possible with these next two, starting with the first of the 4 p.m. games, Sam Houston at Western Kentucky. This one low-key excites me too. Anytime I can see the ridiculousness that is the Conference USA's cannibalism, I love it. Must I bring up that Kennesaw State Liberty game from last year? Sam Houston is basically a brand new team. Head coach Casey Keeler is gone, so enter Phil Longo for the first time at Sam Houston State. Tons of roster turnover, but they do return their quarterback, Hunter Watson. Western Kentucky, on the other hand, same old story. Tyson Helton, air raid offense, score a ton, probably give up just as much. But even with the new quarterback, I just trust Western Kentucky's system more. I'm going to take the Hilltoppers to win and cover. I'll also be watching this game because UNLV plays Sam Houston the next week, so that's why I'm interested. Game number 4. Stanford's opening the year with the Hawaii test. Anybody in the Mountain West can tell you traveling to Honolulu is no joke, which is probably why, weirdly enough, the Bows are favored by 2 in this game. Hawaii under Timmy Chang almost needs a signature win at this point, that he can say this is what we've been building towards for the past 3 years. Stanford, on the other hand, man, they're a mess. New interim head coach, Frank Reich, has the NFL pedigree, but is left with a shaky roster, no real quarterback that you would have confidence in. I know they just named Ben Gilbranson. I'm sure he's a solid dude. He's not a needle mover. I think Andrew Luck has no clue what he's doing. Not saying that Troy Taylor was going to be a great coach or even a good coach, but I feel like Stanford fired him without a plan. So roster vibes say Hawaii. Coaching, I'd give the edge to Hawaii. Quarterback is a toss-up. I like Hawaii's upside with Micah Alahado. Give me the Rainbow Warriors in a close one. Alright, the main event. You know I couldn't skip this one. Allegiant Stadium, 1 p.m. local, 103 outside, probably like 70 inside. More than likely, this is going to be on the Mountain West app, so y'all going to have to find it. But as a Vegas native and a Rebel fan, this is the main game I care about this week. But even if you're a neutral, there is some intrigue for you. This is Dan Mullen's first game back on the sidelines since being fired by Florida. What did he learn from his time in the ESPN booth? Who's going to take the first snap? Alex Orji, Anthony Calandria, and of course, if you bought into the last chance you narrative that has been all over the college football world this offseason, with transfers like Justin Flo, Troy Amarie, Jojo Earl, Chief Borders, hey, shout out to him, that card and EA College Football 26 baller. Y'all might be interested in watching this game, just for the hell of it. Things I'll be watching: how does our offensive line look, especially running the ball? Is Reed Williams gonna start? Cause Big Dog looks like a football player. Like, this is what people envision when they say football player. It's him. How will Jaden Thomas fit in Mullen's scheme? Has Paul Gunther's defensive play calling gotten better? The last time I saw him calling a defense was with the Raiders, and it was rough. So I'm praying he learned from the past and we're not going to blitz every play. I expect the Rebels to win. I think everyone does. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of how much. We should win by 1 million, but I'm really watching to see what this team can be this year, in year 1 of the Mullen era. Some honorable mentions. I got to give the FCS some love. UC Davis versus Mercer. Come on, UC Davis. You're a Mountain West member and just a West Coast team in general. You got to represent. Mercer's no slouch, so, I mean, come on, guys. And then FCS Game of the Week. Portland State versus Tarleton. Okay. It's Tarleton. People got mad at me for that. It's Tarleton State, right? Tarleton. Anyways, this should honestly be a Mountain West playing game at this point. Gloria Navarez, I don't care what you got to do if they don't want to move up. Whoever wins this game automatically gets a Mountain West membership. Well, let's wrap this thing up. As always, if you made it this far, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And as you can see, it is a work in progress, but I think every time I upload, it gets a little bit better. And if you like stuff like this, you should think about subscribing. I'm trying to grow the channel. We did really well after the last video. You know, just kind of have fun here. And to anyone that's wondering about that Nevada State playthrough I was doing, it's coming. It's just, I gotta find a way how to make these videos a little smaller. My computer sounds like it's about to explode every time I try to make one of these too long. But, most importantly, I want to know what you guys think. Drop a comment. I want to know who you got in these games, where you think I went wrong, and hey, I know there's a Fresno fan or a K-State fan out there that got some opinions. Let me hear them. But I think you should like the video.